You know how it is the day starts, and bang, you're suddenly swamped, just completely underwater.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're looking for, I don't know, a way to feel more on top of things. Maybe learn something useful without, like, wading through tons of info.
Yeah, finding those shortcuts, those little nuggets of clarity feels more vital than ever, doesn't it?
Well, today, that's exactly what we're aiming for. We're
Yeah.
doing a deep dive, really digging into the principles that make content land, make it effective.
And we're using Laurie J. Cameron's book, The Mindful Day, as our sort of case study.
Exactly. Think of it as us trying to figure out the core stuff that helps information stick and actually, make a difference, whether that's in a book or even, well, something like this.
Right. So, our mission today, if you like, is to understand how focusing on, say, clear summaries, real practical takeaways, that sense of connection, and a good structure.
Yeah, how all that can create something that really resonates, something
Yeah.
impactful.
For
Okay, so let's kick off with that first idea, engaging summaries. The mindful day has these, well, really powerful mindfulness ideas, right?
hmm
But Cameron manages to boil them down into these super concise, almost like memorable steps. Why does that work so well, do you think?
Well, it's fascinating, isn't it? She uses simplicity to make these concepts, which could feel a bit abstract, immediately usable.
Right.
Take the SOP practice she outlines. It's just 4 words. Stop, take a breath, observe, proceed. But it acts like this mental pause button you can hit anytime.
Okay, yeah. Simple.
Or RAIN, another one. Recognize, allow, investigate, nurture. It gives you a handle, a framework for dealing with tough emotions.
Hmm.
And they're not just acronyms, you see. They're like these little mental models you can actually recall and use right when you need them.
Ah, okay.
So for anyone creating content, the takeaway is pretty clear. Find that core message. Really distill it. Make it easy for your audience to grab onto and, crucially, remember.
Exactly. It feels like it respects my time. As a listener or reader, we all want the key points without feeling bogged down.
Yeah, absolutely. No one wants the fluff.
And the mindful day seems to get straight to it with these practices. So how does that idea, that distillation, translate to creating other kinds of engaging content?
Well, it suggests, doesn't it, that highlighting the main thing up front, using memorable hooks or simple frameworks, that can be incredibly effective.
So like for us doing this deep dive, maybe starting with the key question
Yeah,
or the big idea we're exploring.
exactly that. And just like the book uses those handy acronyms, content creators can look for ways to package complex stuff into formats that are easy to digest, easy to share,
That
even.
makes total sense, which kind of leads us smoothly into the second principle, practical insights.
Ah, yes, actionable stuff.
Right. The mindful day isn't just philosophical, it's packed, absolutely packed, with real-world ways to use mindfulness at home, work, relationships.
And that's crucial, the practicality. If we connect this back, it's about making the information relevant, something you can actually do.
Yes.
The book doesn't just say be mindful, it shows you how. Like focusing on your breath while you make coffee, or turning into the feeling of your feet on the ground during your commute.
Transforming the commute. I like that.
Right. These concrete examples, they make the whole concept less floaty, more tangible. They show you how to weave it into the life you're already living.
And this is where it gets really helpful, I think. Cameron gives so many specifics, like starting the day with just a few mindful breaths to maybe set a better tone,
Simple but effective.
or really listening, properly listening in a conversation, not just planning what you'll say next.
Huge one. Mindful listening.
Yeah, even just noticing the taste of your lunch, things you can literally do, like right now.
Precisely. And that's the power of practical insights in any content. If you give your audience steps they can actually take, things they can try immediately.
They're much more likely to stick with it
Mm,
and actually benefit.
exactly. They engage more deeply. Think about content offerings, say concrete sleep tips or ways to handle stress at work. Those often hit home because people can test them out straight away.
Okay, principle 3, this idea of interactivity. Now, the mindful day isn't interactive like a live poll or something,
No, not in that direct way.
but it fosters this really interesting internal interactivity, doesn't it? It encourages you to reflect, to apply it personally. How does it pull that off?
What's clever here, I think, is how the book kind of nudges you into being an active participant in your own experience with it.
How so?
Well, those sections where Cameron suggests setting an intention before you do something, or maybe the journaling prompts she includes,
Yeah.
they directly prompt you to look inward. to consider your own thoughts, your feelings, your life, right alongside the ideas she's presenting. It's like she's guiding a quiet conversation you have with yourself.
Right. It keeps making you ask, okay, how does this fit me? Even something like that loving kindness meditation she talks about.
Yeah. Meta.
Yeah, where you send out feelings of warmth. Yeah. That inherently makes you reflect on your own feelings and connections.
And connecting that to creating content. The lesson isn't always about literal back and forth.
Okay.
It's about designing the experience so your audience is encouraged to think actively, to question,
Mhm.
to see how the information applies to their world.
So maybe asking thought-provoking questions within the content itself.
Yes, or suggesting little exercises they can try later, encouraging that internal application, that personal connection.
Got it. It's about sparking that internal dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, let's talk dynamic structure.
The flow, the organization.
Yeah. The Mindful Day isn't just one long essay. It's broken down, isn't it? Into themes like home, work, play, love, with exercises slotted in.
Mm.
What's the effect of structuring it like that?
Well, a clear structure is just fundamentally helpful. It makes information easier to navigate, easier to digest.
Right.
The way the Mindful Day uses those life domains, home, work, etc., lets you jump to what feels most relevant to you right now.
Yeah, you can target your reading.
Exactly. And things like the quotes at the start of chapters, they add a bit of inspiration, set the scene, and those how sections we mentioned.
To give the step-by-step.
Yeah, that practical guidance. It all contributes to a structure that feels supportive, not overwhelming.
It's like you have a map for the book. You know where to find the work stress stuff versus the relationship stuff. The pacing feels right, too. You can dip in and out.
Absolutely. And for anyone creating any kind of content, this just underlines how important clear signposting and a logical flow are.
Headings, subheadings.
Yeah, or for audio like this, a clear intro outlining the main points, maybe summaries along the way, and a definite conclusion. A well-defined structure just helps people follow along and ultimately remember more.
And the book has that afterward, right? A
Yeah.
final thought.
It does. Which serves a similar purpose to a good outro, leaving the audience with something to mull over.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. If we're learning from the Mindful Day, what are the absolute key takeaways for creating content that really connects and has an impact?
I think it really boils down to these core things. First, clear, engaging summaries cut through the noise. Get to the point.
Right? Concise.
Second, offer practical, motivating insights, things people can actually use right away. Make it actionable.
Okay, practical value.
Third, foster that sense of connection, that self-reflection. Encourage the audience to relate it to their own lives, even internally.
Yeah, personal.
Yeah. And fourth, use a clear, dynamic structure. Organize it well, respect people's time, make it easy to follow.
Summarize practical insights, connection, structure. Got it. That's really clear.
Good.
So maybe a final thought then for you listening. How could you take these principles, focusing on what's essential, offering real value, connecting with people, presenting things clearly, and apply them?
Yeah, think about your own communication. Could be at work, could be personal stuff, maybe creative projects.
Where could you use these ideas? Maybe just pick one area to make a stronger connection or have, a bit more impact. Something to think about.